welcome back to my show. I know I've not been posting for quite a while now. I've not been writing tech videos and things, but that's going to be coming up soon. Nonetheless, I have an amazing guest with me here today. Her name is Karen Chow. How are you today, Karen?
Hi, Anika. I'm doing really well. Thank you.
Thank you so much for taking your time to be on the show with me.
Thank you for having me.
So first off, please introduce yourself and give a brief synopsis of your latest book.
Okay, my book is a middle grade contemporary novel about it's called Miracle by Christy Taviano Books. It's about a 11-year-old musician who plays the violin because her father plays the violin or loves the violin, and she loves doing everything her father loves to do. And he's very sick, and he eventually passes away, and she becomes very lost, and she loses her ability to play the violin. And as she's searching for her sound back, she's trying to maintain her friendships, and she's struggling to build a relationship with her mom, who she doesn't get along with as well as her dad. And she eventually faces the music, so to speak, and she has to be honest with herself about how she's really feeling and not trying to gloss over the idea that everything is fine, I'm doing fine. When she's finally honest with herself and her friends and her mom, she realizes that even though life is different, it can still be joyful. And when she realizes that, her music ability comes back, and she's able to heal a little bit, and her sound comes back, and so that's the miracle.
That's wonderful. So, which author really inspired you? In your writing, which author kind of inspired you to, go down the middle grade book path and not the young adult or adult path?
So I had read Grace Lin, and her Year of the Dog, Year of the Rat, Dumpling Days, her Pacey Lin series, early on when I was trying to get published. And at that point, I kind of had an aha moment where I was like, oh, she wrote about her experience as a second generation Asian American and the cultural struggles that she went through, and also her experiences living in America as an Asian American. And I was like, I can do that. And so I started writing about second generation Asian Americans, and that's where Miracle came out. It's a middle grade, same as the Pacey Lin series. And it also is inspired partially by my dad passing away from cancer when I was 21. And I just really enjoy writing for the middle grade age group, the 9 to 13, 14-year-olds. I think the themes and the concepts can be so difficult, but yet so hopeful. And I just wanted to portray that in my book.
Definitely. So what's your favorite genre? What kind of, I know, writing aside, what's your favorite genre to read or watch?
So I write middle grade contemporary, but I really love mysteries. I love mysteries. I also enjoy fantasy. I like the Amari and the Night Brothers. I like the Harry Potter. I like the, I guess on TV, it's that one series with I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, I just like the fantasy part, the made-up worlds.
Yeah, definitely. I think made-up worlds, I think not just in fantasy, I think even in real fiction or a realistic fiction or contemporary or whatever it is, I think the imagination part is still in it, even if it's not directly with dragons, goblins, and stuff. Because in fantasy, you're kind of already creating a new world, but in Miracle or any other book which is middle contemporary or realistic fiction, you're still creating something, right? You're creating this world which is just like, even if it's a real world or a real place in act on Earth, people who may have not gone to that place would think, reimagine, and think what it may look like. Or they could just search up photos for it. That's the easy way, I guess. But they could also imagine it. Like maybe you're saying there's like you're trying to describe how beautiful, I don't know, Atlanta is or something, or how beautiful Alcatraz is or something. I don't know. And you could imagine it in your head if you do not have access to, I don't know, the internet, or you do, but you kind of are reading, so you do not want to go. So then you could basically imagine in your head. So the power of imagination in fantasy or any other book is just pretty much the same, I would say. What do you think?
Oh, that's such an interesting question. I think if the book is written really well, yes, you can definitely step inside the book and experience the book for itself. I think it's a little bit easier with realistic fiction because the same things are the same things. Like a book is a book and the car is a car, versus a fantasy, you kind of have to figure out what those things are. And if the author has done a good job, then you don't have a problem imagining, oh, this box is a car, or this phone is a portal into a new universe, that type of thing. So I guess I think if a book is written well, I don't think there's any trouble for a reader to connect to.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I think it's just a matter of how it's written, how well the prose is, and how well it's crafted. Because only if it's a strong prose or a strong structure or build up will it be understood and easier to like imagine.
Yeah.
My next question for you is more on the technical side. So what are your thoughts on the publishing industry?
The publishing industry?
Yeah.
I think right now it's pretty slow. It's always been kind of a hurry up and wait situation. I think I had listened to a panel of editors and agents at the SCBWI New York conference, because I was able to go to that. And they were talking about how, because of the pandemic, a lot of things in publishing slowed down a lot. And then for authors and writers, they were writing a lot because they had a lot of time. And so there's kind of like this weird funnel pipeline effect going on where authors are submitting everything that they wrote during the pandemic, and publishing is still trying to catch up a little bit.
I totally agree. I think like with the time people are getting or had got during the quarantine is high because like they do not need to go anywhere, and if they do, it's from home, right?
Right. A lot of people were quarantined at home, and so they weren't really going out to do things. They weren't traveling as much or at all. And so a lot of people were writing and producing a lot of work, and now there's like this big I don't even know what to call it. It's not in my brain right now, but basically like a funnel effect where all of this stuff is trying to funnel into publishing, and the agents and editors are a little bit overwhelmed.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think like now slowly, I think agents and publishers are slowly getting into the right line and catching up on all the stuff they missed or may have glossed over. Right now, I have finished up editing my book, kind of. Still going through a couple of more revisions on my own with my parents and editors and things. And then I'm going to be sending it out to agents. I want to say end of August, end of September or something. Depends really. But like, you know how editing is, right? Editing is like edit. You just do not want to stop, right?
Understandable.
That brings me to my last and final question, which is kind of a question, but not really.
Okay.
Do you have any last pieces of advice for young writers out there who want to be an author or do something in the writing field?
Yeah. I would say read a lot in your genre. Read a lot of books that are similar in genre, like age group, but also subject matter. So, like if you're writing sci-fi for young adults, you should be reading a lot of young adult sci-fi. If you're writing fantasy for middle grade, then you should be reading a lot of middle grade fantasy. I think that helps your brain kind of process, like, oh, this is what's out there. This is kind of the way the plot goes. And yeah, I think you can bounce off from there just to see what the market is doing, the publishing market is doing, and then also experimenting. I think for me, this is actually my first middle grade book that I've ever written. I have like 12 different books that I wrote before Miracle, and they're just sitting on my hard drive doing nothing. But it was like I was writing stuff that I wanted to write. Like I wrote a mystery, I wrote a realistic rom-com, I wrote women's fiction, I wrote, young adult fantasy. I wrote everything. And I think it helped me find my style. And I think it helped me hone a lot of like the beginner mistakes that young writers make. And I think that also it helped me put it out there to critique partners and to other readers to read it and not be so scared about what they were going to say. I think yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think that's like perfect advice to give, because I think it's just important to like just experiment. Like as you said, you try different genres and then decided on one. So I guess if you think about it, I'm not really comparing the two things directly, but the people who want to become medical students, right? They have like clinical rotations and things, and then they try out every single thing and then choose one specialty or one residency and then stay there. Of course, in writing, it's not as serious as that. You do have to experiment, as you said, but it's not like choose one and then stick with that forever. You have some freedom behind what you're choosing. So you could be like middle grade now, and then down there 2 years from now, you could be like switching to rom-com or something. So it's not that big of a tight knit thing. But I like what you said about experimentation. I think experimentation is a great idea just because you can keep experimenting until you feel like the groove is in, and then it's like you want to keep doing middle grade or keep doing young adult.
Yeah, I definitely took advantage of that. And it was a lot of fun because I was writing stuff that I wanted to write and that I was interested in.
Definitely, yeah. So thank you so much for being on the show with me today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, everyone out there who's listening to this episode right now, I will be putting Karen's website link in the show notes. You can feel free to check out her website, and you can see her books and her social media links and all of that stuff in that link. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Tomorrow I am interviewing Lorelai Marcel, who's an amazing singer. So I'll be interviewing her at 5 p.m. Pacific. So you should expect the episode to be out at I want to say 5:30ish Pacific time. So that'll be 18th April, 5:30 p.m. Pacific. So that'll be the time around it'll be posted, but I'll be interviewing at 5. So anyways, if you do miss it, as you know already, it's pre-recorded and then put up at that time. So be sure to check that out as well if you like. Anyways, bye guys. Have a great day. Keep writing, keep reading. Bye.